Hello everyone, welcome back. Well, in this video we are going to talk about List V3, how we can activate the List V3 plugin, how we can work within the List V3, and what are the features which are present in List V3. We'll be discussing all those things in this particular session. Before that, first of all, I would say very less number of organizations are right now using List V3 because it has lots of bugs. Though it has been released an year or more than a year back, there are still many bugs in the List V3. Because of that, many people are still working with the List V2 version, which we have actually discussed in our earlier video. So let's start. To activate List V3, first we need to go to the plugins. And in the plugins, we need to activate the List V3 plugin. So this is the plugins list. Here I'm going to search for the List V3. You can see that the List V3 is the status is inactive, which means I haven't activated the plugin yet. Remember, once we activate any plugin, we won't be able to deactivate it. Only thing is we can deactivate the features which are coming from this particular plugin, but we cannot deactivate the whole plugin in one go. I'm going to activate the plugin now. That's it, the plugin is now activated. Once you activate the List V3, make sure that you log out of the system and then re-log in, because the older session will not have the proper changes. So make sure that you re-log into the system. So I have just re-logged into the system. Now first of all, before getting into the List V3, we must understand two important properties, system properties. Just type List V3 over the left navigation pane, and we'll be seeing a module List V3, and if we click on this, these are certain properties which are related to the List V3, and the two important properties which are very much of concern are the first two: enable List V3, and the another is List V3 for related lists. As I said, a plugin cannot be deactivated. So once it is activated, we cannot deactivate it. But List V3 is an option which can be deactivated through this option. Though we cannot deactivate the plugin, we can deactivate the List V3 from this option. Make sure that if you want the List V3, make sure that it is yes. If you don't want it, just uncheck it. In the same way, if you want the related list to be in List V3 view, make sure that you have this enabled List V3, or you can just make it off. These are the two important properties which are of concern right now. Let's go to an incident form and see how the incident, basically how the List V3 looks. So this basically the List V3 is being loaded. You can see the way it is getting loaded is also different. So this is the List V3. You can see some basic changes from the List V2 and V3, like there is no gear icon, and the number of records are not displayed over the top. Instead, it is displayed over the bottom. There is an extra option called grid and split, and you won't be able to configure through the right clicks. Just the sort and grouping options are available, but not the configure list layout or list controls. Those are not available over here. You were actually able to export the Excel sheet from this option earlier in the List V2, but here those options are not available from here. Instead, what we have to do is basically what ServiceNow did is it has clubbed all these features under one option, which is this. Just click on these three horizontal lines, and this is the personalized list columns. Here you can customize the number of columns which are displayed over this list. This is same functionality which the gear icon over this area used to do in the list v2. uh, whatever fields we want to have, just make sure that you check those fields, and those will be displayed over the selected section. If you want to remove any of the fields, just click the cross mark. This is the personalized list layout, and if you want to export the Excel sheet or whatever it is, you have to go from here, and in this export option you will have different options like let me come back. You have CSV, PDF, all those options which you used to have in the right click export in the list v2, those are available over here. And we can actually go to the UI policies or business rules, anything which is related to this table by right clicking on the table on the any of the column. Those things are also changed. Those are clubbed over the configure option. If you just click on the configure, you can see all those things. So if I click on this, it will show the list of business rules of this particular table. The same way client scripts. I can also go to the table from here. It is not available over the right click, but everything is available over the 3 horizontal lines over here. Whatever you feel like is missing in list v3, just go to this place. Most probably you will be finding that feature over here. The other option in list v3 is the grid and split view. This is the usual view, the grid view. First of all, let me minimize the left navigation pane. Let's check the split view. If I click on the split, it actually displays the list layout, list of records on the left side, and we can actually select any of the record. Once we select that record will be displayed over the right side. Basically the form layout. You can see right now 10013 incident is selected, and that is displayed over here. If I want, I can click on any of the record. That will be displayed over the right side again. So this is the split view. Let me come back to the grid view. And in our list v3, we were able to save this particular filter by just right clicking, and we had an option called create favorite. That is not available over here, but instead it is clubbed in this section, create favorite. So this is basically a brief description about the list v3, and there is one different thing when we are talking about group by. We have already worked on the group by functionality in the list v2. In the list v3 it is a bit different. If I right click and group by state, let's see how it looks. So this is the view of group by. Earlier we used to have an option to either minimize or maximize, basically to collapse the closed records or in progress records. Just verify the same thing in the list v2, you will be understanding it. Instead here we can actually have the grouped things. We can either remove any of the grouped items, like in this case I'm unchecking closed. I won't be able to see the closed records. The form is just loading. Yes, it is removed. Now I will be able to see only 21 plus 18 plus 6 records. Okay, closed is now removed from this particular list. So this is how basically the group by functionality works in list v3. So that's it, the basic thing, or the basic view of list v3. We are good with this. The only thing is maybe in some of our situations, maybe we want certain lists to be in list v2. In that case, what we can do is we can disable the list v3 for a specific list. Like say for example, right now we are seeing the list v3 in the incidents. If we want to disable list v3, just go to the list control. The list control, scroll down and you'll be seeing certain options for list v3. Just disable list v3. That's it. So this is our usual list v2. This is what I was saying. We can either collapse or expand the group by features. And whenever you are on list v2, Say for example, if you have enabled the list v3 and if a particular list is in v2, then you will see a bug icon over here, and this is only available to us, the admins. End users will not be seeing this. So here you can check why the list v3 is not being shown here. It says list v3 is enabled in the list. It should be enabled in the list control. So if we go to that, it will show us the error. So basically, as I have disabled it, we are not able to see. That is the point. Even if an hierarchical list is enabled for a particular list control, even that will not show the list v3. Instead, it will show in list v2. So this is all about the list v3. Basically, till now we have been talking about the list, usual list. Let's get into the related list also. If we open any of the record, we can see the list at the bottom, related list. So even here you can see the way it is being displayed is different. There is no gear icon, which means it is list v3. This is just one of the key thing which you can simply say whether a particular list is in v2 or v3. If there is a gear icon, it is list v2. If the gear icon is not there, it is the list v3. So all the things are in list v3. All the related lists are in list v3. On the other side, we also have the references, like assigned to is a reference field. Even if we go with this, even here the list v3 will be displayed. So these are the three key places where the list v3 comes into picture.